Hi, it's Heather here from Heather School Wellness Programs. I have a little message and maybe a bit of a confession. As I've been trying to recover my knee, I've been discovering or unmasking parts of me that may not be online, may not have been online prior to my surgery, but I've certainly been paying attention to and noticing things a lot more since I'm working on the knee recovery. So I want to do everything and include every part that may not be working the way that I wanted to in order to reconnect with strength and connection through my body. What I'm talking about right now is my pelvic floor. Recently, I've just noticed that there's just so many pelvic floor specialists. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. Maybe it's a fairly new field on its own. And I think it's a great thing. If you look at ads, maybe it's because of my own feeds, but I get a lot of ads for leak proof underwear, for example. And I think, oh my goodness, are a lot of younger people also having issues with pelvic floor, with bladder, with leakage? Is it just postpartum? Is it everybody? So I went to see a pelvic floor physiotherapist and did discover that there's definitely a section, a part of my pelvic floor where there's no sense of connection. And she's been giving me various exercises to do, or times when I can integrate my Kegels with my exercises. So if you're watching this and you've had a knee replacement, those very first exercises that we were given to do, if you're still doing them sometimes, I do them upon awakening just to get my knee rolling. For example, and I'm going to move back so you can see me. If I'm lying in my bed and I wake up, and I'm just going to sort of manufacture this because I'm sitting on a chair right now, but the exercise where you're pulling your leg in and out, you may have a band around it. We can incorporate a Kegel here. And here it's very general. I'm not going to sort of break down the specifics of pulling in through the pelvic floor, but the idea of the motion is basically when you squeeze that you would be stopping the flow of urine. So that's what that squeeze feels like. So during urination, you don't want to be squeezing unless you're deliberately trying to do an exercise to feel how you stop the pee, because we just don't want to do it. We want our urine to come out. But when we don't want our urine to come out, or when we are experiencing urgency to pee and we want to be able to get more control, first of all, if you are experiencing that, I highly suggest that you see a pelvic floor physiotherapist. So that's my recommendation. If you have mild symptoms of this and you just want to incorporate Kegels a little bit more into your exercises, then I'm going to give you an example of a time where you can incorporate. So I'm going to move back again and just readjust so you can see right down to my feet. Let's see, did I cut off my head? No, my head's in there, more or less. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, so here's an exercise just as an example where you can incorporate using a Kegel. We're gonna start though with one foot, just one heel coming up off the ground and down. So just get the feeling of that heel going up and down. Hand on the thigh. Maybe you can feel a little bit of engagement in the quadricep muscle, thigh muscle. Good. Switch sides, just lifting the heel up and down. Good. We're going to switch again. We're going to slow this down a little. So you're lifting up the heel. This time we're going to lift up the foot very slightly off the ground. While we do that, push the other foot down into the ground. Squeeze the buttocks. And if you can, give the pelvic floor a little squeeze. Then you're going to let it lower, back down, release everything. Good. We're going to take the other heel up. You're going to start to lift it, push the other foot down into the ground, squeeze your buttocks, give it a little Kegel, the pelvic floor squeeze, and then slowly lower it down. Good. Switch sides again. Roll up that heel, push into the other foot as you lift, squeeze buttocks, little pelvic floor squeeze, lower it down, release. Good. One more time. Roll up heel, push into the opposite foot as you lift that one up. You might also be feeling some engagement in the thigh, which is great. Squeeze buttocks, pelvic floor squeeze, and let it come down. Good. Just give your toes a little bit of a wiggle. Good. So that exercise, and you could repeat it several times a day. You may want to break it down into like short segments, like 4 to 6 repetitions, pause, 4 to 6 repetitions, pause, rather than just doing a lot of them. And of course, then if you need to, if this has stimulated you to have to go to the bathroom, of course, go at any time. But one of the other cues that my pelvic floor physiotherapist gave me is something called quick flicks, where you're kind of squeezing, releasing, squeezing, releasing, squeezing, releasing, in a way to try to invite the bladder to hold that urine a little bit longer. Okay, one last thing. When you get up, when you stand up, but you feel like you have to pee, here's where it's sort of critical to really hold it in. So we're going to push through our feet, hands across the chest, push through, squeeze through the buttocks as you stand up, squeeze through that pelvic floor, and then go off to the washroom. Hopefully you make it. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you have a great day.